And if you don't already have an account, you can do an educator sign up right here. So please go ahead and sign up if you haven't already done so. It is free, and your students don't have to have an account. They just log in with their Google account in order to access it. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say educator sign up. I've already got an account. You're going to want to choose to sign up with Google. That way it's single sign on and it has access for you. Since I've already got an account, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say educator login. So once you've got your account created, you're going to log in and you're going to see that you are going to create your first grid. It's going to prompt you to create a grid and it's going to walk you through a grid. Looks like this. So this is your first grid. It's going to prompt you to do that. So you're going to give grid a name. And so for the purpose of this, I'm going to call this my distance learning assignments. This is the important thing right here. You're going to want to connect it to the school email. The reason you're going to want to do that is that because if I attach it to school email, it's going to prompt students to log in, which means it's going to be secure. It's going to mean only your students can log in and access it. And it also is going to record who has contributed to the grid. So it's just more of a privacy feature. The student ID, we don't need to worry about that because we have Google sign on, but that is if you wanted to put a list of students in there. And the public and PLCs option, that comes in handy if you are going to collaborate with another school. Since now we're doing all this distance learning, maybe you want to connect your class with another class in DeKalb County or Gwinnett County, or over in another state. So that means it's public. You can set a password, so you have to have the password to access it, but that is the public and PLCs. So we're going to go up here and we're going to choose to use school email, and then you're going to create a Flipgrid code. So it automatically generates one and it does it with your last name and gives you a code. You can customize that. That comes in handy if you want it to be like Hall, green class, first period, third period, whatever. So you can put that in and the code can only be up to 20 characters. I'm just going to leave it as is. It's not that important because you can just grab the link and put it in Google Classroom. So I'm going to click next. This is the important part right here. You need to put at apsk12.org into email address, so apsk12.org. I'm going to type that also in the chat window for you guys. At apsk12.org requires. That means that it's going to prompt them to log in no matter they're on their mobile device or their laptop before they can respond, and it captures who is contributing. So I'm going to click next, okay? And my grid is ready. Now, I could just share out the grid directly to Google Classroom or my Teams if I wanted, or I could embed it on my website. If I chose to do share with Google Classroom, it pulls up that dialog box where I can go in and say, hey, I want to put this into my King Middle School class, and I'm going to make it an assignment, and I can post it in there. Now, just the grid is going to be, think of a grid as like a classroom. So if I say, I've got first period, second period, third period, fourth period, I would want to have a grid for each one of those. Now, technically, you could have a grid open for all your classes, so you have a one-stop shop. But if you choose to have your videos available for all students to view, that means kids from other classes can see videos. And maybe that's fine with you. It's up to your discretion. So I'm going to choose, for this purpose, I'm going to make this a material because it's just the grid where all of my questions and prompts are going to go. And so I can leave it as a material. I can click go. So now I can give it a title and I can just say, this is my distance learning grid. I can give it an instruction. I can say that it goes out to all of my students at King Middle School, and I can choose if this was just to go to certain students, but for the purpose of this, it's going out to everybody, and I can click post. I'm not going to post it now because everybody will think I'm sending them a message. So that's how I can share my grid. Okay. So notice I've got different grids right here. I'm going to go to my distance learning grid. That's the one we're working with right now. Anytime I want to make any changes, I'm going to take a look and look for that pencil. That pencil allows me to make any changes. So if I wanted to go back and make any changes to it, I could do that. I can choose notifications. This is kind of important since we're out right now for distance learning days. You can change how often that you want to be notified that kids respond. Daily, you want to know at the end of the day how all of the videos are uploaded. If you want to hear it at the end of the week, every new video, or never, you don't want to be notified. So I generally have it on for every new video because that way I know all of my students are responding when they are, but you could choose to do it at the end of the day. You want to know who has responded. That's up to you. You can go down here and choose to have your grid active, which means it's allowing students to contribute to the grid. You can turn on captionings if you want. To personalize, by default, it gave me an image. I could choose to upload my own. This is probably going to tell me it's not the right size, but I'm going to pull it up anyway. Oh, not bad. So I can put my little, there we go. And I can up my own image. Okay. You can make custom ones, or you can see they have several images that are available. So I'm going to update this grid. So now I'm going to go down here and you're going to see that by default, every grid has a hello, welcome to Flipgrid topic. You can leave that open or turn that off. That means that for every kid that when they log in, they can see that and they can say, hey, yeah, I want to say hi, my name is, and it helps them get comfortable with using Flipgrid if they've never used Flip before. If you don't want that to be active, you want to hide that, you can hide it. If you want it frozen, which means frozen allows you, once you have students record, you can freeze it. Kids can still watch the videos that are uploaded, but they cannot add any more to that topic. Some of this active, all right? So if I want to share this out, I can go to that share. Here's my option to grab it in Google Classroom. I can copy the link. I can even pull up that QR code, which is scannable. So if you are a co-teacher and you are supporting and working with teachers, or you want to share this with your evaluator, especially since we're offline, we're doing this distance learning thing, and you want them to be able to see that you have students participating in your class, you can add a co-pilot by emailing them. And once they are added and they accept the invite, that means that they serve as a co-teacher. For example, I'm going to go back to my grids, and I am a co-teacher on this Grady Entrepreneurship one. I created it as an example for the teacher, and then the students have been responding. As you can see, we have several topics in there. So I get notified when students post, and the teacher that I'm working with as well. So let's go back to this grid. And if I'm going too fast or you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Unmute yourself, set a question. I'm very flexible on answering any questions. So I'm in my distance learning one. Let's go back to that. So my distance learning grid, I've got the hello one. Now I'm ready to make a new topic. So consider your grid is your class, your topic is your assignment. So I'm going to say add a new topic, and this is our practice response. I have a few choices automatically to choose from. Do I want to set the recording time by default? It does 1 minute and 30 seconds. 1 minute and 30 seconds is the default time, but I can go as few as 15 seconds. So you want them to give them a one-line response, or I can go up to 5 minutes. I kind of think the 2 to 2.5 minutes is the sweet spot, because you'd rather them have more time than they need than not enough, but tell them they do not have to use all of the time unless you're saying it's a practice activity and they need to have 2 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and make this one 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna go down here and I can go in and write my prompt. Today you will share your, oops, and I apologize, I can't type, your experience, day 1 of distance learning. Now I can get more specific, give them any instructions, tell them you need to answer the 5 W's. You could say, give them the starter prompt for what they need to say. This is your stem for your response. Now I can go in here and I can bold and italicize. I can underline. Let's see, I can italicize that. I can align this. So this is great for our emerging learners that need that keyword vocabulary highlighted so that they know what to pay attention in terms of the instructions and the prompt. Then I can also hyperlink to a resource. So if you have a document you want them to look at before they get started on something, or you want them to watch a video before they respond, or you want them to read an article before they respond to their prompt. So I can also go in here and add what they call a focus topic. When we say focus topic, that means I can upload a video created. That's my starter. That's my spark for the lesson. I can add a video from YouTube and Vimeo, excuse me. And my understanding is YouTube is open to our students that are on their student devices, so they will have access. It has been entered and checked, but you will be able to share a YouTube video if that is an example of what you want to start. I can upload an image, so that image could be a quick paragraph that's a screenshot of a paragraph. It could also be a graphic organizer. It could be a map. It could be a famous person that you want them to take a look at, and then they have to, off the cuff, give a response. You can add ifs. You can add in emojis. You can bring in anything in from Microsoft Tools. You can order a video straight from the Clips camera, which I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. I can put in a Kahoot. I can put in a Wakelet. you're not familiar with Wakelet, I did a Wakelet session yesterday, and I have uploaded that recorded session to our Google Classrooms, so you can check that out. You can put in Nearpod lesson, Newsela, Adobe Spark, Wonderopolis, Bungee. All of these are options for Sparks, okay? Focus is not required. It's just an option. I'm also going to go down here to more options. I can give my students a topic tip. When I say a topic tip, that means, hey, don't forget to review chapter 1 before you respond to this, or review the video or anything like that. I can include topic attachments, which means resource that I need to share directly with the students, and I can give it a title and say, here's the rubric for your performance task. Now we're getting into the nuts and bolts of how you manage, and this is a classroom management thing. To manage your grids, you need to think about the fact that you want your students to either see it immediately or not. So by default, as soon as a kid uploads a video, as soon as they have a video, they can see each other's video if you leave it unmoderated. If I moderate it, if I turn this button right here, one by one, I will receive the video and I can make them active if it's appropriate. If you're worrying about it being appropriate, or you have kids that don't want to see each other on video, they only want to meet the requirement of turning in a video to you, you can moderate it. So for example, I had an ELA teacher that the students, gifted learners, were like, we're fine with doing the video for you. I just don't want anyone else in my class seeing it. So I would advise doing that. And also, if this is a new tool for your students, I would moderate it until you double check that the videos are appropriate. Now, the student-to-student replies are available once the video goes live and you've approved it. Then they can reply to each other. So think about it as an ongoing conversation. So I could give feedback or comment on my colleague's video. Right now, it is active. Again, frozen means that you can see the videos that are in that topic. Oh, how many students can reply? That is a fantastic question. All students can reply. There's no limit on a grid in terms of you posting a topic and having responses. I do not think that there's a limit on any topic. That's a great question. I would imagine you got 30 students in your class. You might do a separate topic for each assignment and you would be fine. If you want to have all of your students reply to one topic, even though they're in separate classes, you'd still be fine. Frozen means you can see the videos, but you can't record anymore, and hidden means that nobody can see that option. So the launch and freeze dates are, when does it go live? So today's the 17th. I want it today, and I can leave it open indefinitely. So this would be, we don't know how long we're going to be out. You can leave it open. If it is an assignment that you want them to do in a timely manner, for example, I'm posting it today and I need everybody to reply by Friday, you can set that freeze date to be Friday. And how that works is that means that they'll still see it, but they can't reply. I had one of my teachers that was a stickler for deadlines, and she's like, we started on Monday. They need to reply by Friday. Question, let me see here. Another question just popped up. And it was, if students put a response to a topic, does it create a chain? It only creates a chain if you turn on student-to-student replies. We're going to dive in here and I'll show you what some responses look like. But it's linear. Like if you have your topic, you're going to have everybody's responses in there as responses you can see. But if I allow the student-to-student replies, my thing is, what it does is it allows students to reply to each other. So you would go into those individual videos and take a look at what their responses are. Great question. These are a couple other things to point out. Selfies and videos, you can choose whether or not you want the students to be able to use the selfie and video feature, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. You can require a video title or not. Students can use a character kind of to hashtag it to explain what their video is about. You can turn, by default, view count is on. You might want to turn that off if you're going to allow kids to watch each other's videos. Think of it like views on YouTube. So some kids like to see, hey, mine was watched 3 times, and other kids might be sad that nobody watched their video. But you could also make that a requirement that they have to watch at least 3 videos and reply to 3 of their peers. Sticky notes allows them to add sticky note recordings. So that's default is on. Video allows them to rearrange and edit their clips, and we'll take a look at that in a second. And also the attaching a link if they want to, say they wrote a script or they have a presentation or project that supports what they're including in their Flipgrid, you can allow that. And then you can turn on or off likes. So I have likes off, but you might want to turn it on. I kind of think that that can be a little disheartening for kids if they don't get any likes. So you might just want to turn that off. So you also have a feedback option in here. So you've got basic feedback and you have custom feedback. So by default, it's ideas and performance, but I can go in here and add my own criteria. and the scores and points available. So minimum score points, and I can give my criteria if I want. So I'm going to go ahead and create stop. Notice it gave me this little link right here. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go to record a response. Okay. I'm going to allow, the first time I do it, I allow my microphone. I allow my camera. And I'm on. Now y'all are seeing behind the scenes because I have a green screen. So this is the camera interface. This is that sticky note feature. It's telling me I have 2.5 minutes. This is right here where I can see my practice, my prompt, what it is. It does not have the rubric in there. That's a great question. So I would post your rubric or expectations inside of the Google Classroom when you share out the prompt, or include it in the description of your Flipgrid topic to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, excellent points for ideas, performance, or whatever. So now that I'm in my camera here, I've got a couple of options. I can throw on some filters. If we have kids that don't want to be on camera, but you can see that this is me without it really being me. Okay. I can also do black and white. So this is great if they're doing a historical piece. So I can go here, black and white, because I'm setting the tone, because I'm doing a history thing for social studies. I have different looks if I want. Not required, but kids like to play around. Give it like Instagram. Now I can also go in and use the text feature, which I can type in here. And once I type it, I can move. So now I've got my Tech Tips 411 available, and I can explain what my topic is, and I can go on and on about what I'm talking about. So next up, I have stickers. So I can pull up any emoji that I want, and I'm going to go with my personal favorite. This is my go-to emoji. Does everybody have a favorite go-to emoji? That's my favorite right there. Okay. So I can do that. Moving along here, notice I also have a drawing option, so I can doodle on here. This is great for math and explaining concepts. So as if I'm explaining what I know about a math problem, I can actually use the annotate feature on here, which works on the desktop, as you can see, and it works on the mobile version. Okay, so if I want to clear this, if I want to undo, there we go, bring that one back. There we go. Okay, so notice the undo, redo, best buttons ever. So next up, I'm going to move over here to the whiteboard feature. So it looks like a little whiteboard. I can make this either be a board. So now you're hearing me when I'm recording, but now I can explain my thinking. So I'm going to clear that. I could turn this, I could pick any color I want. I could also make it a blackboard, and then it's going to be white. Undo that. So that whiteboarding feature is great if you want to show their thinking as they're working on a math problem or something else. So the last option is that I can actually do it what they call a photo sticker, but you could use this for anything. So I'm going to actually just upload my little background here. So we can get to it. All right. I can upload this right here and move it around. So that means I could make this be my whole space. So if this was a map or a math problem, I can now bring up my drawing tools and I can annotate over it. So this allows me to walk through my thinking on something, and then I can hit record. So I've set all this up. I'm going to move this right here. All right, I want to make this a little bit smaller. So my little bitmojis, my Genmoji's hanging out with me. I'm going to put her over there. Okay. So now I'm getting ready to record, and I see, great. All right. So the question was, is there a feature or app that allows me to write without a touch screen, without the mouse? So I use the mouse on this one, and you can use the touch screen would work on your phone if you were trying to do some annotations that way. So now I'm getting ready to record. So I'm going to hit record, and it gives me my countdown. So here we are in Digital Learning Day. We're learning all about Flipgrid. Flipgrid is fantastic. It's perfect for students to show what they know, amplify student voice, and connect with their classmates and their teacher while we're on learning days. So I did one little clip. Okay. I forgot I wanted to add something else. I can add more. So I'm like, so here I'm going to go add one more time. APS teachers have got the Flipgrid fever. They're realizing the power of amplifying student voice with Flipgrid. I feel like I'm doing a commercial. All right, so now I'm going to go next. Notice I now have, so here we are in Digital Learning Day. We're learning all pauses. I now have 2 clips. Clip 1, clip 2. If I decided I wanted this to be my first clip. APS teachers have got the Flipgrid fever. They're real. So notice if I realize I wanted step 1, step 2, step 3, I can rearrange. Therefore, I can mix it up and I can add more elements. And notice it's telling me how much more time I have. Okay, so I'm going to go next. I've got my 2 clips. I love the order that it's in. Now I got a selfie. Of course, the kids are always like, that was not a good one. Do another one. Because I'm a dork, I don't mind doing that. I can use the same thing with my filters. I can do this to me now. Or one of my other options. If I still don't like that one, I can do one more time. That was actually pretty bad. And I can throw in some stickers. I might throw a little Flipgrid hat on me. Or sunglasses. I wish it was at the beach. There we go. Kids get a kick out of this because they like to, you know, jazz them up. And I'm going to hit next. Let the magic happen. Are you seeing how this would work with your kids? I'm going to show you the back end a little bit more, a couple of tips and tricks. But I think, you know, Flipgrid is such a powerful tool to use with your kids. 97, 99, come on, 100%. Yes. So this is important. I can choose the display name. So I can change this. Now, if you were in a classroom setting where the kids are working collaboratively, they can put their names. I can put my title for what this is. And then I can put a link. There's that link option if I have a resource I want to sit. And now I'm going to hit submit. I'm in. Congratulations. I've submitted my video. And I'm going to click complete. So now, just like that, I'm going to go back here and you can see there is my video. Because I didn't moderate it, it went live. But if it wasn't if it was moderated, it would be hidden until I made it active. So again, if you want to moderate it so you see, you preview all the videos, or maybe you want the other kids to see it, maybe you only want to be the one to see it, you can do that as well. So now I'm going to up here and I'm going to take a look. Here's my video. APS teachers have got the Flipgrid fever. They're realizing the power of amplifying student voice with Flipgrid. So here we are in Digital Learning Day. We're learning all. So there's my video. I can go in here. Here's my rubric. I can give grade and I can give feedback. If I want to go in and make any changes to any information, so say maybe I uploaded with the wrong account because I was logged into my sister's account and I didn't realize it. Because students do that, maybe sharing a device, you can go in and put the right kid's name there if you need to. I can choose to add it to a mixtape. Means I want this as a great video. I want everybody to see it. If they recorded to the wrong topic, I can move it. I can download the video. I can download the selfie. All of that are options within that video right there. So I'm going to go back up here to where we had all our grids and you can see your responses. So the other option is if you wanted to pre-record videos to share with your students, I can use the same camera by going into shorts. So this is a short I did. Actually, you might recognize some faces there at King. And this is one that I did just as a demo. I love Flipgrid. It's one of my favorite tools. And I've decided this year, one of the things I can do is provide you the opportunity to ask questions using Flipgrid. This is a great way for you to communicate. So if you'll notice on my video, I included, there's my logo, I included my Bitmoji. You can upload video that you have elsewhere. And so I did my intro music as well. So kids can really create some cool stuff with the Flipgrid camera. But if you want to go in here to shorts, if I wanted to make a video for my students and then attach it, I could go hit record a short and it's going to pull up that camera, not attached to a topic, but I can do that. Our teachers are the only ones who can provide feedback. I'm looking for, for student peer feedback. Okay, so if that's the goal for student peer feedback, then you would need to turn on, once you approve the videos, you could approve that they can reply to one another and then you would approve those as well. So they could watch each other's video and they could reply to each other's. But I think it's great for peer feedback. That's great. Oh, up here, Grid Pals is an option if you want to connect virtually. If you want to go active, you can see, look at these are all the Flipgrid educators are out there. If you wanted to connect your class with another class, especially since we're out for digital learning days, the Disco library is a Disco library. You can search for topics, see what are the featured topics, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Another nice thing is in our Flipgrid grid, if you take your, let's go back to my grids. I made that one topic and I might want to move it and put it into another class. I have the option of click and I can say I want to duplicate the topic And now I could add this to another grid. So we know you might create your topic for your first period class, and then you want to copy it into your second, third, fourth, and fifth period class. Does that make sense? So I think that's, kind of covers most of the nuts and bolts of using Flipgrid. One last thing, which isn't going to be a benefit right now since we're out on digital learning days, but when we come back and you want to showcase your students' work, every Flipgrid response comes with a QR code. And the QR code lets me, and I'm going to show, I can see this, and this is pretty cool. I'm going to actually show you my phone. I'm going to go to the Flipgrid app, and I'm going to scan that code. And when I do that, there we go. Notice what happens. Realize how amplify student Flipgrid. Okay, there's our struggle bus internet, but notice what happened. It pulled up my video exactly where the QR code was. Isn't that cool? So that's just another really cool feature of Flipgrid, that every response has a QR code attached to it. Are there any other questions that you might have of how you can use Flipgrid? And again, I appreciate your time and being a champion and hanging in with me and learning some things. And I have recorded this session, and then I will share the link to Google Classroom so your colleagues can take a look at it as well that weren't able to attend live. The bulletin board is, for example, Coach Kelly at King she had her students record their presentations that they did for health class, and then to Flipgrid, and then she was posting those QR codes so people could come and scan it and watch them do their presentations. But you don't need to worry about the bulletin board feature right yet until we get back to, but I just wanted to show that's really cool. Any other questions? Are you feeling pretty good about it? You excited? I cannot wait to hear how you use Flipgrid with your students. Please, share how you're using it with the kids. And if you have any questions, please let me know.